We have to say that in prose, you see, to satisfy the FCC. Here's a letter request from one of our guests out there, round Johnson Square for Tuesday night. For Patty and Joan from Hartville High, who can really dance. And also for all the cats at Ellen who set us a fine line, including Papa Dan and Mother Schramm and Phil and Gloria and Star and Karen and Sis and Riley and Marty Miller and Carter and Nancy and Linda and Nolan, Gail and Audrey and Little Old Wolf. Here we go. Wavy gravy, flow it, the Titans sing. Don't you just know it? Yeah.
Baby, don't believe I went to let you. No, we never know it. Ha 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 ha. Hey yo, Cuba, 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 Cuba.
Baby, can we hold stolen?
You got me rocking when I ought to be rolling. Ah ha 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 ha. Hey yo, Cuba, 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 Cuba. Ah ha 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 ha.
Baby, you're my blue heaven. No, we can't know it.
You got me pushing when I ought to be jamming.
No, we can't know it.
Ah ha 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 ha. Hey yo, Cuba, 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 Cuba. Ah ha ha ha.
Out on the mountain, cool out of peace. No, we can't know it.
Younger, the tougher, the tighter they squeeze.
No, we can't know it.
Ah ha 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 ha. Hey yo, Cuba, 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 Cuba. Ah ha 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 ha.
Cuba, Scooby-Dooba, 26 before 11 the time, and rhyming on to heaven in our first hour of power as on we go with our head all aglow. The winky blinky light is burning just right tonight because we got mail by the bale. Remember, we giggle, we jiggle, we bop and blast. Mail, mail, mail to keep the show on the air and to make it last. All right out there. Here's another dare from Mad Daddy. Remember, never chicken. We're always sticking. So we got to read all these names and burst into flames. Here for Jim Dindy and Sandy Custer, Marty Campo, Sherry Chalky, Dave Hotchkiss and Michelle, and for Gary and Barbara and Eddie and Linda, and Gary and Gail and Jim and Judy and Russ and Sharon and Jack and Linda and Jim and Carol. For Bob and Connie and Dave and Karen and Chris and Nadine and Vincent, Pat and Dave and Arlene, Mike and Ellen and Dave and Enid, and for Don and Helene. For Ronnie and Sandy and Don and Ellen and Bill and Bev, and Don and Rusty and Mike and Carol and Ronnie and Taylor and Frank and Pat and Willie and Linda. For Jim and Barbara and Tommy and Sue and Kenny and Donna and Ray and Barbara and Al and Marilyn, Jay and Jerry and Mouse and Ian and Larry and Merle and Joe. And on we flow for Tom and Frankie and Andy and Jerry and Tony and Bob and Larry and Mary. And Jeff and George and Mike and Stu and Ronnie and Ben and Gary and Dave and Frank and the Burton twins and Ken and Jean and Timmy and Ray and Jimmy. And for Jerry and Dave and Joe and Frank and Ronnie. And for the Topolinas and the Blue Tones and the Altons and the Czars and the Travel Jockeys and the Road Rebels and the Sabres and the Royal Knights and the BAT and the Crazy Gals of GAL. For Dracula Hall, the home of Mad Mama, and the window crashes for Steve in the 58 Chevy. For Jim and the Ford, and for Patty in Florida, and for Alfred E. Newman. For Steve and Edith and Roy and Rita, and for Hugh and Paul, and the biggest delinquents at Heights High, and on we fly for Chris and Ronnie and the Mad Motorcycles, Noreen and Ellen and Rosemary, and Bev and Myrna and Brenda and Linda and Jim, and for Edwin Earlobe Golly, and for 6 period lunch in the social room, and for George Saper, the Mad Daddy Laugh, for Marty's brother who sounds like a Repo commercial, and for the Freedom Fighters and Eddie and Bobby, and Froggy and his comic books, and for the senior A's with only 44 more days. This from the Syndicate and the Syndikittens. On, we read it all. To the end, we were sticking, because Mad Daddy Giggle Jiggles never chicken. Yeah, our cheap wire will give your sound a tumble. All the cats really flip over this crazy, wavy rumble. Rumble, 22 before 11 in R&B Heaven in our first hour of power as we go rotating and motating in outer space and here. More round sounds, never fear. We keep the jive alive.